and a guitarist named Tatiana Parra came who recorded her album now in Los Angeles. She got there and there were all the amps you can imagine. In the end, she recorded with a quad cortex. Like, it's that thing, man. Sometimes it's much more practical. You're going to be fiddling with all these amps. You're adjusting microphones. And sometimes the person is already very used to working with a quad cortex, with a Kemper, right?
I asked for this Kemper because I already wanted to record directly this time. Oh no, I'm going to record with an amp, which will take forever to set up and all that. So there was the Kemper there, but for several guitars. I listened to the demo I made here in Brazil and I said, I'm not going to record this again. Man, it's going to be the one I recorded here in Brazil on my guitar rig there and all that. Some I didn't even record there, but I recorded with the Kemper. Nani Diaz recorded with the Black Star that was there. He wanted to record with the Black Star. Rodrigo recorded with the Zampak that was there. And the guys already have everything set up. That's professionalism too. It's just like here, you know, I hadn't recorded in a big studio for a long time. I became a musician who records in my room, on my interface, sending things out.
And you learn to master that, man, in a way. Because the sound is here, right, brother? We always tell people that the sound is here. Either you have the sound or you don't. If the sound is here. It can be quad cortex, it can be the Kemper, it can be the Ampevera there, and you'll manage, right, brother?
We think so. So, right, because it came from the ampy. I came from the amp. I was obsessed with recording from an amp. I had my SM57. I used to record with it in the studio. Then I remember Susekin came to the studio. Are you recording with that thing? All this paraphernalia? The microphone doesn't hear like you do, man. Hey, you can use it directly. All right. No, but I don't know what I would like. It's fine there. A few years later, I already started my journey with its simulators, even to this day. You have an OPI 500 pedal board, right? 700 to 400 reais.
That Element XP there is $100?
100, 600 BRL. I even saw it here for 400. So that Element XP there is 100 USD. I should have bought another one there in Miami.
We're talking, man, about equipment. That costs 500 Rs, 400 Rs. And the sound you get is not a 500 Rs sound. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I want to say this to the folks here because sometimes people get really excited about these new things that come out. And I always use this example here. I have a school, which is the Starling Academy of Music, the virtual school, and there is a sales group. And every week someone is selling a quad cortex, selling a Kemper, selling a fractal. It's not because the pedal board isn't good. It's because the person couldn't get the sound out of the pedal board, which requires man dedication. You have dreams here in your head. For example, I pick up a pedal, I see their twin. I had a twin. For a long time, I know how to get the sound out of a twin. So you go where you have confidence. You have to climb the little ladder.
You have to climb the little ladder. If you go straight to the top, take the elevator and go there directly, man, you're going to get tangled up.
Yeah, you said the right word. It's the same thing if you go to a guy and say, my brother, you're going to a studio that costs $1,000 a day, but it has 400 amps. Possibly a young, excited rookie will get there and say, okay, there are 400 amps. Which one do I ask to take out? Which I ask for? You're going to have to make the choice. You won't even test 50 if there are already 10 set up.
And the budget that no one has nowadays, no one is allowed to have that budget these days. To stay, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months trying everything out. Man, I remember I had the Snake 335 and a little amp that was the Tony Pelosi, right? Who was the luthier, made some amps and so on. So, well, I had that there and went to play at a gig, a jam there with Paulo Maura, right? So, well, I already wanted to get a bit of a jazz sound there, but it was in the tone. Then I played a little phrase like this, and Paulo Maura looked. I did it like this and told myself, okay, I'm getting sound there with a cheap little amp, Snake. In other words, I went from the bottom rung, the cheapest, to today. Inside the amplifier, that big dirty one, looks like Tron.
So you don't even have the actual analog pedal anymore. And just to reinforce what you said, the RP500, man, yes, it was released in 2004. It's been 20 years since it was released.
I bought it in 2008 because mine. Another one I had, which I don't even remember, also broke. Damn, the GNX4 that I loved. I love it. I bought it again. It's at home. Is it also Digitech? It's Digitech. And I played with Adrana with it. And there are some tones there. And these things stay in the emotional memory.
But the cool thing is, as you said, the sound is in your head, man. You know what tone you want to get. It doesn't matter if the equipment was released 20 years ago or if it's the latest one. If you can get the sound you want that you're hearing in your head, and the person listening enjoyed the tone, it doesn't matter if it was on the Kemper, the Quad, or the RP500. Music is with the ears, right? Like people sometimes say, you even told me this today, sometimes people play with their eyes and they need to listen, right?
You have to use your ears. I absorbed that lesson from you today. Liminia also said something similar about computers, that sometimes people are working on a Pro Tools or Logic audio session, and they're looking and thinking with their eyes when in fact we're making music. You have to think with your ears. And you, in your video that's on your channel today, said that sometimes the guitar is a visual instrument, but you have to use your ears to dive into the music. I myself was like, wow, sometimes I find myself playing like this all the time. Do you want the cap? Head down below the pillow? Sometimes I say, oh, cool, I'm here, I know what's going on.
But he says, hey, huh? But there are a lot of people who listen with their eyes, man. There are a lot of people who listen with their eyes. Like, it has to be a Fender. It has to be an expensive amp. It has to be an expensive multi-effect, expensive pedal. Because then the person thinks like, well, I won't get a good tone if I have cheap or simpler equipment. Which we see is not the reality, right?
I love cheap guitars, yes. But there are many cheap guitars that are good. I bought several of those series that started being manufactured in China. That was in the early 2000s. Then Gretchen, I saw Gretchen, the guy, Gustavo Corsi, my friend, using one. I said, man, Gustavo played a Gretchen. Wow, I had seen it in Los Angeles. Damn, $3,000. Then they said, no, that guitar is new. It's a new model, very cheap. So I bought a Gretchen, too, a model like Cliff Gallop's, to play with João Pekka. When I heard the tone of the Gretchen, I almost cried. I said, wow, it's the tone of the 50s, right? The Jaguar also played, wow, it's the tone of the 60s. It's similar. Of course, it's not the top, right? But, well, for me, it works. You can get the sound out of it.
Totally. I've seen Fred Andrade in some videos playing with... He has several Strats, right? He likes a bunch of Strats there in various colors. And there are some that he bought, which are the Squires, right? The second line. And, man, honestly, you have to play the guitar, right, man?
I didn't find it lacking. I didn't think it fell short in anything to defend. No. Well, I had a Squire Strat, right? Squire Strat is also great with Floyd Rose, made in Indonesia, or no, made in Korea. Sensational. I had to give it to my ex-stepson, right? Who started playing. I said, man, take this guitar, play it, kid.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Starling Cast. You can watch the full episode here in the video description. And take the opportunity, if you're a guitarist, to join the largest virtual school in Brazil, exclusive for guitarists, by clicking on the QR code or in the video description. I'll be waiting for you there.